Welcome, Destiny YouTubers, fans of lore and fan fiction alike. Today we are going to examine the in-game clues from Warmind that might hint at story elements we could be seeing in the September expansion. We'll take a look at what we know, speculate a little, and then craft some pretty epic story ideas for the fall. Now to start, we'll build our foundation on the assumption that the fall expansion is going to involve the Reef. We know this because at the end of Destiny 2, there is the infamous cutscene showing the Traveler's awakening reverberating through the solar system and beyond. The first planet hit by the wave of light is Mercury, where the Osiris DLC takes place. The second planet is Mars, for Warmind. Next, we see a picture of the Reef, then the Dreadnought, and finally at the edges of our galaxy, the Darkness. This is a roadmap of the stories to come, which has mostly been confirmed by interviews with Luke Smith. So, I think it is fair to say that this fall will involve the Reef in great detail. We also have been getting a slow trickle of in-game clues from scannables and lore tabs in Destiny 2. Throughout the EDZ, there are clues that tell us that the Fallen are burning their old banners and uniting into a new house. We also found out that the Fallen supply caches are using Awoken encryptions from the Reef. Now finally, the Awoken Prince's ship is now located in a lost sector on Mars in the Warmind DLC. So, if we know where the next story will take place, the question to ask is who is it going to be about? What characters and enemies are we going to confront in the coming months of Destiny 2? Well, Warmind has left us some very interesting teases, but first, a little background. The Reef is the asteroid belt in our solar system that orbits between Mars and Jupiter. During the collapse, hundreds of ships fleeing Earth made it as far as the Reef before they were mysteriously destroyed. Now, part asteroid belt, part ship graveyard, the Reef is home to the Awoken. They are led by a dynasty of monarchs and function as a female-dominated society. Mara Sov, their queen, sacrificed herself and most of the Awoken fleet, attempting to stop Oryx's advance into our solar system. During this space battle, her brother, Prince Aldrin, lost control of his ship and crashed on Mars. This is supposedly the same ship we found in the Lost Sector. Aldrin was spy master for the Queen's dynasty. He had an army of small drones called Crows scattered across the system to gather intel. In Destiny 1 Grimoire, we know he survives the crash and quietly begins searching the solar system for something. We later find him captured by the fallen House of Kings in the Cosmodrome. Aldrin allowed himself to be captured so that he could confront the House's Kell. Now, the House of Kings Kell is descended from a very old bloodline of nobility, and it was the last fallen house with its leadership is still intact. The fallen philosophy is the strongest should lead, and if a Kell is ever defeated in combat, the champion rises as the new Kell. The Queen of the Awoken used this to get the House of Wolves to bend the knee after the Reef Wars when she defeated Skolas. It is widely speculated that Aldrin accomplishes the same feat by defeating the House of Kings Kell. Since the conclusion of Destiny 1, the Fallen have now receded from the Cosmodrome and begun burning their banners. It is likely that under Aldrin's leadership, the Fallen houses are uniting. We have one piece of further proof that Aldrin survived his encounter with the House of Kings Kell. The lore tab for the fusion rifle Telesto mentions Aldrin by name. He is part of a military report to the acting regent of the Awoken, Petra Venj. Chronologically, this would mean that he survived his encounter with the Fallen and is now in contact again with the Reef Awoken. Does this mean Aldrin or the Awoken will be our enemy in the September expansion? Well, not necessarily. The Awoken have never shown an interest in the Traveler or the Light as typical Destiny enemies do. Aldrin has been our ally in the past. and his sister sacrificed the Awoken fleet to halt Oryx's advance in our solar system to Earth. But I do believe our future enemy lurks deep within the reef, possibly trapped in the Prison of Elders. The Prison of Elders holds enemies of the Awoken and was a combat arena in Destiny 1. According to Cade 6, in the Prison of Elders Reef Grimoire card, the Prison of Elders holds creatures of enormous power, not just the Fallen, but all kinds of beasts captured by Awoken expeditions or lured in by the Queen. The question should be raised, what if one of these creatures escaped? Referring back to the Telesto lore tab, we get a hint that all is not well in the reef. Public key 053689 DWS Regal from Paladin Kamala Rior to Acting Regent Petra Venge. Subject: Prison of Elders Containment Risk. Message is: Contingency reserves overdrawn. We underestimated nobility trough reparations. Aldrin suggests that we open reintegration talks. Have you discussed endowment support? 2. If Reef endorses support, Paladin Oran will engineer reinforcements. Message ends. So, leadership in the Reef is concerned that containment at the Prison of Elders might be at risk. Contingency reserves overdrawn, this means that military forces in the Reef are being stretched too thin. Perhaps this is a result of the devastation inflicted by Oryx and the Queen's disappearance. As a possible solution, Aldrin suggests reintegration talks to shore up strength. This is likely him suggesting using the Fallen as allies in security in the Reef once again. If he is taking control of the House of Kings and is uniting the Fallen, this places him in a strong position to leverage their forces for the benefit of the Awoken. It is possible that with the Prison of Elders at risk, another breakout of Fallen could occur, threatening the Reef's security. But this seems too simple, and a complete repeat of the House of Wolves DLC from 2 years prior. What if there is something darker lurking in the prison, something long believed dead? There's another new lore tab in Warmind that references the prison, and has very interesting implications. It comes from the exotic hunter arms, the sealed Ahamkara. Few things can see the light, but we are not blinded. The bearer seeks the truth, but what separates truth from fiction is fragile. A pair of truths and a single falsehood upon the bearer we shall impart. Brother, ally once more, sends his regards. Dreamer, awakened, the bearer shall meet. Light fades deep within the prison. The Ahamkara are a species of draconic post-traveler neolife that were supposedly hunted to extinction. They were known as wish dragons because they would grant wishes of power, but at great cost to whoever asked. There are several exotic armor pieces crafted from their bones to grant the bearer power. The bearer being whoever chooses to wear the Ahamkara bones, which is typically us Guardians. This lore tab offers 3 messages and claims that one is false. The first references a brother who is our ally once more, while the only brother of significance in Destiny is Prince Aldrin. The second speaks of a dreamer known as the Traveler in the Grimoire, who is now awake that we shall meet. The final message reads that light is fading deep within some prison. Again, the only prison mentioned in much detail in Destiny is the Prison of Elders. So we have an Ahamkara lore tab referencing both Prince Aldrin and the Prison of Elders. I believe this final message gives us the greatest clue of what is to come, for where light fades, darkness rises. Now, what if there is a living Ahamkara in the prison? Or what if an Ahamkara was able to corrupt the mind of someone important, like Prince Aldrin, and twist his actions and purpose? Or what if a horrible creature in the prison was granted a wish by a living Ahamkara? Now, there's another enigmatic presence tied to the reef's story. The Nine, whose domain lies somewhere between the Jovian moons of Jupiter. We know that the Nine have clashed with the Awoken before. They were responsible for freeing Skolas and repairing his ketch, sparking the open rebellion from the House of Wolves. Two of the new trial weapons make direct allusions to the reef. The first comes from the submachine gun Motion to Suppress. It reads, "A trespasser. You were not welcome here. How did you find us? She sent me. You are not your queen, a puppet, defined by scars. We have no need of you. We have our own puppets. Let her speak. I came to discuss the future." Now, someone here has come before the Nine to speak of the future, supposedly sent by a queen. There is a lot of speculatory possibilities, but the most infamous queen in our solar system is Mara Sov. Does this confirm she is alive, or is someone just following her standing orders? Could this be Petra, or another female paladin from the reef? The lore tab for Motion to Compel is even more mysterious. It reads, "Look, her plan is coming together. Always the clever one. Always the smug one. She plays with weighted odds. Odds we weighted. Shall we intervene? No, not yet. Be patient. Wait until the dynasty falls." The she makes me think of Queen Mara Sov again. But interestingly, the Nine discuss waiting until the dynasty falls. Now, the queen's lineage has been referred to as the Vestian dynasty. The name comes from Vesta, which is a large asteroid in the reef that serves as the Awoken seat of power. I think this provides the foreshadowing we need to speculate. If the Nine are expecting the Sov family dynasty to fall, then I doubt Aldrin or the Queen will be our true enemy. Instead, I sense there may be another source of power rising in the reef intent on taking control. This could be a dark creature trapped in the prison, or an Awoken traitor, perhaps twisted by an Ahamkara wish, or an Awoken traitor who is colluding with the Nine. I think an Awoken civil war could be a pretty epic thing that we might see. But here's also hoping we may get to see more of the Nine and the Ahamkara. Imagine if these wish dragons were rediscovered in our solar system. They could be hidden in lost sectors on each planet and grant exotic quests to those who discover them. That would be awesome gameplay. So, what do you think, Guardians? Excited to return to the Awoken and the reef? Hoping we finally get to learn more about the Nine or the Ahamkara? Or do you just care about that delicious loot? If you want to stay tuned on the latest story and lore updates on Destiny 2, then subscribe to my channel. This is Mediocre Guardian. I hope you enjoyed listening, and until next time, have yourself a wonderful afternoon.